Somewhere in the dark expanse of our galaxy, a colossal star burns its final fires, unaware of the fate that waits. It is massive, swollen beyond imagination, so immense that if it were placed where our sun is, it would consume every planet out to Jupiter. To the naked eye, it appears calm, a warm amber beacon in the night, a steady light that humans have gazed upon for centuries. But that serenity is a lie. Beneath its placid glow, turbulence rages. Nuclear reactions churn faster, the core is unstable, and gravity presses in with an unstoppable hunger. At any moment, tomorrow, next year, or centuries from now, this star could collapse, unleashing a supernova so violent, so radiant, that it would outshine every star in the Milky Way combined, momentarily turning night into day. That star is Betelgeuse, the red supergiant that marks the shoulder of Orion, the hunter. For millennia, it has been a constant in our skies, a point of orientation, a fixture in myths and stories across civilizations. Ancient Egyptians may have traced it to navigate the Nile, while Greek astronomers wove its presence into tales of heroes and gods. To look at Betelgeuse is to look at both history and destiny, because the photons streaming from its surface tonight began their journey centuries ago, around the time the Renaissance was taking its first breath in Europe, when civilizations we now know only through texts and ruins were thriving across continents. We are seeing the star not as it is, but as it was. It may already have exploded. The universe keeps its secrets, and in that silence, it whispers of inevitabilities beyond comprehension. Betelgeuse is massive, roughly 20 times the mass of our Sun. In stellar terms, it is old, yet it has lived fast. Massive stars burn through their fuel at staggering rates. Hydrogen fusion, once the stable rhythm of youth, has long ceased in its core. Helium, carbon, neon, oxygen. These fuels burn sequentially, each stage faster than the last, until iron accumulates. Iron is the dead end of nuclear fusion. Its presence signals doom. Once enough iron piles in the core, fusion can no longer counteract gravity. The pressure that has balanced the star for millions of years vanishes, and the core collapses in seconds, imploding under its own weight. This collapse triggers a rebound, a violent expulsion of the outer layers at a fraction of the speed of light. The star becomes a supernova, one of the most energetic, destructive, and simultaneously creative events in the cosmos. In moments, energy exceeding what the sun will radiate over 10 billion years floods space. In those same moments, new elements are forged: calcium, silicon, oxygen, iron, gold, the building blocks of planets, of life, of consciousness. Every atom in our bodies was once part of such a process. Betelgeuse is not merely a star, it is a progenitor, a creator masked in violence, a cosmic ancestor we are intimately tied to. The thought is both terrifying and humbling, because while the explosion will be magnificent, it will also be indifferent. The universe does not pause for our admiration, does not schedule itself to please human eyes. To the cosmos, Betelgeuse's death is not a spectacle. It is a mechanism, an act of physics unfolding with the precision and inevitability of the laws of nature. And yet, when it finally erupts, humanity will witness an event that is as much a philosophical statement as a scientific one. The certainty of endings, the impermanence of beauty, and the raw brilliance that accompanies decay. Neutrinos, nearly massless particles that escape from the star's core before light even leaves its surface, will flood across the cosmos, passing through everything, including Earth, without notice. To us, they are silent messengers, the first heralds of an event centuries in the making. Then comes the light, delayed by the vast expanse of space, slowly illuminating the cosmos with an intensity that defies comprehension. And finally, shockwaves ripple outward, compressing interstellar gas and dust, triggering the birth of new stars, shaping nebulae, and scattering heavy elements that will one day become planets, and possibly life itself. Death, in this sense, is inseparable from creation. Yet, while Betelgeuse's destruction is spectacular, the threat it embodies is existential. Its collapse is a reminder that permanence is a human illusion. Even the brightest, most stable objects in the sky are temporary. Every constellation, Every celestial landmark, every star humanity relies upon to orient itself is fated to fade, collapse, or explode. In this sense, gazing at Betelgeuse is not just an astronomical observation. It is a confrontation with impermanence, a reminder that time is relentless, indifferent, and absolute. And in that realization lies both terror and transcendence. To witness a star die is to understand the cycle of the cosmos, to recognize that we too are temporary, yet intimately connected to forces that are eternal. We are the result of countless supernovae, the inheritors of the remnants of stars that lived and died long before Earth existed. The atoms in our bodies are a legacy of violence and brilliance, forged in crucibles billions of years old. When we contemplate Betelgeuse, we are gazing into our own origin, seeing the inevitability of death mirrored in the universe itself, and recognizing the enduring beauty that emerges from it. If this thought moves you, if the mixture of awe, fear, and wonder resonates in your chest, then you understand what 404 Altverse seeks to explore. Subscribe and follow us as we journey into these cosmic truths, navigating the thresholds of knowledge, perception, and the terrifyingly beautiful inevitabilities of the universe. Even now, astronomers monitor Betelgeuse with unprecedented scrutiny. Telescopes capture fluctuations in brightness, tracking pulses and surface distortions. Infrared and radio arrays probe the star's outer layers, while satellites measure subtle changes in emitted radiation. Every detail is a clue, a small thread in the story of a star that may end without warning. And while these observations allow us to predict probabilities, they cannot grant certainty. The star's final act remains unknowable until it unfolds, a ticking clock that measures in millennia and yet could strike tomorrow. In contemplating Betelgeuse, we confront something profound: the tension between human expectation and cosmic indifference. We seek patterns, predict outcomes, and search for signs. Yet the universe operates on scales and through forces that dwarf human comprehension. One day, Betelgeuse will collapse, and we may witness it, or we may only see its remnants centuries. Later, long after its light has traveled the vast ocean of space. Either way, its death will speak to truths older than humanity, larger than our civilization, and more consequential than anything we can control. It is the ultimate reminder that we are both fragile and eternal, fleeting and significant, fragments of matter and consciousness forged from ancient cosmic violence, capable of understanding, witnessing, and marveling at the universe that birthed us. As we wait for Betelgeuse's inevitable collapse, it is difficult to comprehend the scales at which this drama unfolds. Its surface roils with convection currents larger than entire continents, boiling plasma that rises and falls, carrying heat outward in a dance of unimaginable energy. Gigantic stellar storms ripple across its surface, each one dwarfing anything we could ever imagine on Earth. If you were somehow able to stand on a planet at the edge of its solar system, the sight would be hypnotic and horrifying. A burning, living sun that heaves and pulses like a colossal, sentient heart. Every flicker, every wobble, every subtle variation in brightness is a sign of the final acts of a life spent billions of years fusing elements, balancing gravity and pressure in a delicate, impossible equilibrium that has lasted until now. Yet equilibrium is fragile. In Betelgeuse, the balance between outward radiation and inward gravity has been breaking for centuries. Its core, a furnace of iron, grows heavier, denser, more unstable. Gravity presses relentlessly, faster and faster, and the star teeters on the edge of collapse. When it finally gives way, the release of energy will be catastrophic, uncontainable. The core will implosively collapse, compressing material to densities beyond comprehension, squeezing matter into a neutron star or perhaps a black hole. The outer layers will rebound, propelled outward in a titanic explosion that tears the star apart, scattering billions of tons of stellar material into interstellar space in a matter of seconds. The light from this explosion, racing across the galaxy, will illuminate the cosmic stage in a brilliance unmatched by anything else in our night sky. The supernova will be visible even in daytime, a luminous warning that no matter how vast the universe seems, its power can still reach us, reminding humanity of its fragility. This is not mere spectacle. It is the universe declaring its truths in a language of fire and radiation. Photons will surge across light years, X-rays, ultraviolet waves, and gamma rays blasting through space, interacting with dust clouds and gas to reshape regions of the galaxy. Neutrinos, virtually massless, will pass through Earth unnoticed, yet they carry the story of the star's death, signaling the onset of the cataclysm before the light even arrives. These ghostly messengers are the universe's most subtle heralds, a warning that even the most imperceptible phenomena can prelude events of immense consequence. And while the scientific marvel is undeniable, the existential weight is heavier still. Humanity gazes at the heavens, searching for constancy, for signs, for guidance. We build civilizations and imagine permanence, yet the cosmos moves to its own rhythms. Betelgeuse's impending death shatters the illusion of stability. It demonstrates that even the seemingly eternal can end, that brilliance is transient, and that all things, stars, planets, lives, even civilizations, are temporary. Yet in this impermanence lies beauty. The violent death of a star is also a mechanism for creation. Every atom of calcium, iron, and gold in our bodies was formed in the hearts of stars that ended long ago, explosions like the one we await from Betelgeuse. In witnessing its death, we are both spectators and participants, intimately connected to the very forces that govern existence. Consider for a moment the light travel time. Betelgeuse is roughly 640 light-years away. The photons that reach Earth tonight left the star centuries ago, in an era before modern astronomy, before telescopes, before much of human civilization as we know it existed. The star may have already died, its cataclysmic collapse silently racing toward us across the void, yet we remain unaware. We are living in the past, gazing at a relic of history, and what we will see, the supernova, may already have occurred. The universe, in this sense, is both eternal and immediate, past and present collapsing together, reminding us that time is neither linear nor human-centered, but vast, indifferent, and relentless. As the star reaches the final threshold of its life, its collapse is not just a physical process, but a philosophical statement. To witness a star dying is to confront mortality on a cosmic scale. It is a reminder that all things fade, that time moves with inexorable logic, and that endings are not exceptions but rules. Betelgeuse's impending supernova is a cosmic mirror, reflecting our own impermanence and revealing the transient beauty inherent in all forms of existence. Every heartbeat, every fleeting moment of awareness, every act of creation or thought becomes significant precisely because it is temporary. There is also a subtler, haunting possibility. When Betelgeuse explodes, the shockwave and radiation may trigger chemical changes across nearby regions of space, compressing gas clouds and initiating the birth of new stars. In a way, the star's death will plant the seeds of future suns, future planets, and perhaps even life forms yet to come. Destruction, therefore, is inseparable from creation. The same forces that obliterate also construct, and in this duality lies one of the universe's most profound truths. The death of a star is not finality, it is transformation, a process that ripples across the galaxy, shaping futures that will long outlive the observer's lifespan. The anticipation of this moment, both scientific and existential, resonates across human consciousness. We watch, we measure, we theorize, yet we cannot control it. All our predictions are probabilities. All our models are approximations. The universe, vast and ancient, does not pause for our understanding, nor does it conform to human expectations. And yet, in that very indifference, there is a profound lesson. By observing, by comprehending even a fraction of these forces, we become witnesses to existence itself. In doing so, we participate in the grand narrative of creation and destruction, giving meaning to the fleeting moments that define our lives. If you feel that mixture of awe and dread, curiosity and humility, then you are aligned with the spirit of 404 Altverse. Subscribe because here we navigate the universe's most profound mysteries, exploring the interplay between life and death, light and darkness, impermanence and legacy. Betelgeuse's supernova is not just an astronomical event. It is a meditation on existence itself. Even now, its surface is unpredictable. Pulsations ripple through the star, and vast eruptions of gas occasionally veil its light. Each fluctuation is a subtle reminder of the instability lurking beneath, a precursor to the inevitable collapse. We monitor these signals with instruments spanning the globe and orbiting the Earth, telescopes capturing visible light, infrared arrays sensing heat, and satellites detecting radiation. Every photon, every spike, every dimming is a clue, a whisper of a fate that will not be avoided. The weight of this knowledge is enormous. We realize that what we perceive as permanence is fragile. Constellations will shift, stars will explode, and time will march forward with a terrifying constancy that does not bend to human desire. And yet, amidst this awareness, there is also an extraordinary, almost spiritual revelation. We are made of the same matter that will one day return to the cosmos. The universe recycles itself in cycles of destruction and creation, and we, fleeting as we are integral participants in this eternal rhythm. Betelgeuse is a star, but it is also a story. It is a narrative of life and death, of creation and transformation, a reminder that everything we see and know is part of a larger process that transcends human perception. To witness its demise is to touch eternity, to feel the pulse of cosmic forces that have shaped the galaxy for billions of years, and to recognize that, in some small way, we are connected to forces greater than ourselves. And so, as we anticipate the inevitable, we are reminded that even amidst terror and uncertainty, there is beauty. Even in destruction, there is creation. Even in impermanence, there is meaning. Betelgeuse's death will be a reminder that the universe is vast, powerful, and relentless. Yet in our awareness, it is also intimate, personal, and profoundly affecting. When Betelgeuse finally reaches the end of its life, it will not go quietly. The core will collapse in an instant, denser than any material we can imagine, shrinking to a sphere no larger than a city, but with the mass of 20 suns. Gravity will warp space itself, bending light around the imploding heart of the star. If the core collapses fully, a black hole may form, a region where not even photons can escape, a singularity in which time, space, and reality itself are compressed into a point of unfathomable density. The outer layers will explode outward in a titanic shockwave, traveling at tens of thousands of kilometers per second. This is not merely a release of energy. It is a cosmic orchestra, a crescendo that has been building for millions of years, now unleashed in a fleeting moment. The explosion will release more energy in seconds than our sun will produce over its entire 10 billion-year lifespan. Gamma rays, X-rays, ultraviolet light, and visible photons will spread across the void, illuminating dust clouds and nebulae, triggering chemical reactions that will form new stars and perhaps new planets. The very building blocks of life, the elements that will someday become oceans, atmospheres, and living cells, are forged in this violent crucible. Yet, for all its brilliance, there is terror in this moment. We watch from a planet 640 light-years away, knowing that the light we will see has already traveled centuries to reach us. Betelgeuse may have already died, and its remnants may have begun to ripple through the galaxy, sculpting the future of countless star systems. The universe operates on a scale that makes human life ephemeral, almost meaningless in the grand tally of time and space. And yet, this is precisely why the spectacle is so profoundly moving. It forces us to confront our fragility, our impermanence, and the fleeting brilliance of existence. As the light finally reaches Earth, the star will blaze brighter than a crescent moon, visible even in daytime. For weeks, perhaps months, the night sky will no longer belong to us. Constellations will be altered, familiar celestial landmarks transformed into something unrecognizable. The hunter's shoulder, long a fixture in myths and navigation, will glow with a fierce, otherworldly brilliance, reminding us that even the most stable-seeming points in our universe are impermanent, subject to forces beyond comprehension or control. But in that destruction lies creation. The supernova will scatter heavy elements into surrounding space, enriching molecular clouds and sparking the birth of new stars. Calcium, iron, gold. The very atoms in our bodies were formed in similar stellar explosions billions of years ago. Betelgeuse's death is therefore not merely an end, but a beginning. Its remnants will seed future generations of stars, planets, and life. The death of one star shapes the destiny of countless others, a reminder that the universe's narrative is continuous, interwoven, and eternal. To truly grasp this, one must consider the philosophical weight. Humanity has long looked to the stars as symbols of permanence, as anchors in an uncertain world. Betelgeuse shatters that illusion. Nothing lasts forever. The universe does not cater to human perception or need. Yet, in observing, in understanding, in bearing witness, we participate in its cycles. The impermanence of the stars reflects our own mortality, and yet the very atoms that constitute our existence were once part of these cosmic cycles. In this way, life and death, creation and destruction, are inseparable, threads woven into the fabric of existence itself. Even as astronomers track Betelgeuse with instruments sensitive enough to measure subtle surface movements, convection patterns, and fluctuations in brightness, they confront the ultimate humility. The universe is not ours to command. Models and predictions provide probability, not certainty. The star may linger for centuries, or it may collapse tonight. All we can do is watch and prepare to learn, to witness an event that reminds us both of the fragility of life and of our profound connection to the cosmos. When the supernova finally erupts, the sky will be flooded with color, light, and energy. Nebulae will glow with the freshly forged elements, as though the universe itself were painting a masterpiece on a canvas of darkness. Neutrinos will surge past Earth, unnoticed yet carrying the earliest message of the explosion. Shockwaves will ripple outward, sculpting gas clouds and igniting the birth of new stars, while photons illuminate the void, a brilliant testament to energy, matter, and the ceaseless cycles of existence. And in that brilliance, there is a lesson for humanity. The universe is indifferent, vast, and often terrifying, yet it is through observation, awareness, and reflection that we find meaning. Our lives, though fleeting, are composed of the same materials as the stars. Our consciousness allows us to witness, to wonder, and to understand. Betelgeuse's explosion is not just a cosmic event. It is a mirror of our own impermanence, a reflection of the fragility and beauty that defines existence itself. Even in fear, there is awe. Even in destruction, there is creation. Even in endings, there is continuity. Betelgeuse reminds us that life is transient, that brilliance is temporary, and that the cosmos has always been and will always be in motion. The death of a star becomes the genesis of countless others, a testament to the eternal rhythm of the universe. If this vision of impermanence and creation resonates, then follow 404 Altverse. Subscribe, not because we promise comfort, but because we seek understanding. Here, we navigate cosmic terror, existential beauty, and the intertwined nature of death and creation. The universe does not stop, neither should our curiosity. And when you next look at Orion's shoulder, see beyond the amber glow of Betelgeuse. See the past, the present, the future. See the cycles of life written in fire. Understand that we, like the star, are temporary, yet intimately connected to the eternal. In its destruction, the universe speaks. Creation and death are inseparable, and everything that ends shapes everything that begins. Betelgeuse will die, and when it does, the universe will continue, brilliant, terrifying, and magnificent. And so will we, witnesses to the most intimate expressions of cosmic power.